Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Project Black T-Shirt. Today it's all about witches. Witches, Satanism, black masses, hooded figures stabbing pretty much everyone, and British people. So please keep watching. Alright, so a movie that's been causing a fair amount of controversy, even though I don't think it's that controversial a movie, is The Witch, Robert Eggers' The Witch, which came out a few months ago and got a big theatrical release, and it was a movie that I was kind of dying to see. It had great reviews. We went on the festival circuit. I went as soon as I could. Actually brought my girlfriend, which is one of the few horror movies she's kind of deigned to see with me, and we both really loved it. I think it's a beautiful movie. I think it's a really smart movie. It's incredible to me that a movie with that meter to pace, that's that smart, that slow, that hard to understand what the characters are saying without subtitles, got a wide release. What didn't surprise me was the kind of blowback, and I thought I knew what the blowback was going to be coming out of the movie, which was, oh, it's not scary. We were promised something scary. Just because something is a good horror movie doesn't mean it has to be full with jump scares and things like that. And as controversial as maybe it is, and a lot of my Facebook friends are just getting around to watching it because it just came out on Blu-ray, and it's something I will be picking up. I do want to hear the commentary, check out the features and stuff like that. But I don't have it yet, so I can't really review the Blu-ray. But what I do have is a movie that it kind of reminded me a little bit of, City of the Dead. But this is a British movie from 1960. A lot of interesting stuff to talk about with this. It stars Christopher Lee, even though he's not in it that much, as a professor who's interested in witchcraft and Satanism. He has a young student. She's a real go-getter. Her boyfriend's also in his class. He's not that much of a believer. He doesn't really care about Satanism, doesn't care about witchcraft, doesn't think it's real, thinks it's all hokum. And she decides to take a trip to New England, to a hotel in New England, to a small town in New England, to kind of look for primary sources about witchcraft. And she finds him. Boy, does she find him. What's interesting about this movie is, for a long time, this is the second time I've seen it on this. What's interesting about it is I had always thought that it kind of owed a debt to Psycho, because I thought maybe it was a movie that came out in the wake of Psycho. Just looked it up. It actually started filming a month prior to Hitchcock starting filming on Psycho. And it's kind of a spoiler to talk about why I think it owes a debt to Psycho. But it has this kind of, structure where we move towards something big that happens in the middle, and then the movie almost kind of resets. It's a little British movie, kind of stage-bound, which people may not like, but it's got this great atmosphere, beautiful black and white cinematography, and the ending is absolutely bonkers. Movies that came after this, folk horror movies like The Wicker Man and Blood on Satan's Claw, British, none of them go as a lot of the endings to these movies are usually kind of more down to earth. City of the Dead used to be called Horror Hotel. If you don't have the DVD already, I highly suggest this new Blu-ray from VCI. City of the Dead is a movie that even if you haven't seen it, you've probably heard lines from it over and over again, because it is the beginning part of Rob Zombie's Dracula, where he says, fear, superstition, and jealousy. That is a Christopher Lee line from this movie. You'll pick it out right when you hear it. There's the Misfits song, Horror Hotel, is based on Horror Hotel, you know that one. I didn't know this, but I'm looking it up. I'm an Iron Maiden fan, but I'm not a big video guy, so I didn't know they used clips from that in one of their videos. So it's a very metal movie, along with it being a very Satanist movie. Check it out. I love it. It's really cool. It's got this weird kind of Groundhog Day structure to it. So that's City of the Dead, 1960, directed by John Moxey. would really pair well with The Witch, like we've talked about, or it would pair well with Mario Bava's Black Sunday. So the book I want to pair with these two witch-centric, satanic-themed movies is a nonfiction book, and it's not really relating to the horror field at all, even though it's called The Witches Salem 1692 by Stacy Schiff. This is a research-intensive book where Schiff looks at the Salem witch trials, the people that were killed there, and what led up to their convictions. And she traces a whole lot of different kinds of strands, and she only uses like documented things that actually happened. And even as she says, like, these court documents are filled with the stenographers couldn't write fast enough, so that it's hard to tell even who's speaking, what the accusations are, where the accusations are coming from, what are like asides from the the people in the courthouse. It puts into perspective that while we like to make up horror stories about what went down in Salem, and even if you go to Salem, Massachusetts, and you go to the Salem Witch Museum, it's kind of sensationalized. These are very down to earth incidents. People just were pissed off at their neighbors, or they're in this new land and they're having a tough go of it, and they are lashing out at people. They're lashing out at women. It is dense and it is a long book, but it's one of those things. If you're interested in this kind of stuff and you want to get a little bit more historical basis for what's going on in a lot of these movies, and maybe how these movies are kind of exploitive. Even though I think The Witch deals with this kind of stuff pretty beautifully and with a great deal of nuance, even if it has an ending that ends up being kind of pro-witch in a certain reading. Yeah, it's a really cool book. So Stacy Schiff, The Witches, Salem, 1692. That's the whole title. There's a colon in there somewhere and a comma. Okay, I'm Adam Caesar. This is Project Black T-shirt. If you want to see more videos like this, please check out my channel and subscribe. If you like this video, hit like. If you didn't like this video, don't hit dislike, but go into the comments and tell me why I'm wrong about The Witch and why I'm a big dummy, and whatever slander you want to throw at me, I would love to hear it, but hey, do it in a comment. Next week, we're going to be talking about new release Blu-ray that's made up of trailers. It's really cool. Not sure what I'm going to pair with that, but I'd love to hear suggestions. And then, after that, things are kind of open. I have been renting VOD movies, trying to all right, let's find some good ones. But the last two movies I rented, I really didn't like, so I didn't want to make videos of them, because I think there's enough kind of hate on the internet. I don't want to talk about stuff I don't like. I want to talk about stuff I like, which led me to talk about City of the Dead, The Witch, and Stacy Schiff's book. So yeah, hit subscribe, hit like, check out my other videos, go to my website, check out my books, check out my Facebook, all that crap. I'll put links everywhere. All right, see you guys.